It was supposed to be a normal father-son camping trip. Just me, my dad, and the quiet peace of the woods. We'd driven miles from anything. Just thick pine forest, dirt roads, and the occasional deer darting across the path. My dad said this place was perfect. No cell reception, no distractions, just nature. We parked near a small clearing at the edge of the forest. I was 14 and more interested in flying my drone than learning how to pitch a tent. So while Dad hammered stakes into the dirt and wrestled with the canopy, I launched my drone into the sky, watching the dense trees spread out like a sea of green on my controller screen. I was flying it over a patch of trees maybe a quarter-mile away when I saw something. A tall, dark, slender figure, standing still in a small clearing. It wasn't an animal. It wasn't a person, at least not like any person I'd seen before. It moved slowly, like it was floating more than walking. Then, it stopped. I watched in confusion as its head tilted upward, looking directly at the drone. And then it smiled. Not a normal smile. A demonic grin, stretching impossibly wide. A mouth full of razor-sharp teeth. And eyes, red, swirling, like they were trying to pull me in through the screen. Then it started running, full speed, right toward us. I panicked, tried to back up, but I stumbled over a rock and dropped the controller behind it. I couldn't reach it. My hands were shaking. Dad, something's out there. He just laughed, thought I was being dramatic. I looked back toward the tree line, and it was standing there. Still, watching me. That same twisted smile, like it could see into my soul. Dad, I said again. But when I turned back, it was gone. Just trees and silence. Dad finally grabbed the controller and brought the drone back. We didn't talk much after that. The sun was setting. The fire crackled as darkness crept in around our campsite. But I couldn't shake the feeling. Like something was still out there, watching. Later that night, we crawled into the tent. Dad was already snoring. I couldn't sleep. So I picked up the drone controller and reviewed the footage. There it was. That thing, running, full speed through the forest. Not away from us, but toward our camp. I stared, frozen, when I heard it. A snap of twigs, a rustle just outside. Then my dad's body jolted. Something had grabbed his legs, and before I could scream, he was yanked out of the tent, fast, like he'd been caught in a trap. I screamed, called for him, but there was no answer. I didn't move. I couldn't. For what felt like an hour, I just sat there, paralyzed. Then I got the courage to peek outside. Nothing. No Dad. No monster. But then, in the shadows, just beyond the glow of the dying fire, two glowing red eyes, and that same horrific grin. It just stood there, watching. I ran. I grabbed the car keys and bolted down the trail. I don't even remember starting the car. I just drove, headlights off, bouncing down that dirt road like I was in a dream. I drove until the road sloped upward, high enough to get a couple bars of signal. I called 911, blabbering something about a creature in the woods and my dad being taken. I must have sounded crazy, but they said they'd send a team. About an hour later, the flashing red and blue lights appeared behind me. And the weirdest part? They found my dad, perfectly fine, sleeping in his sleeping bag, right next to the fire. No signs of struggle, no footprints, nothing. He had no memory of being dragged out. Said I must have had a nightmare. But I knew what I saw. We packed up in silence and drove home. The entire ride, I couldn't stop thinking about it. That face, those teeth, that smile. And then, I glanced at my dad in the driver's seat, and my blood ran cold. He looked back at me with a grin, a too wide grin, his eyes swirling, red, just like the thing in the woods.